The hotel bar wasn't supposed to be crowded on a Thursday night, but it was soft jazz pouring from hidden speakers, golden lights shimmering off crystal glasses, the low hum of conversations weaving into something warm and intimate. Mara Wells sat alone at the far end, her hands wrapped around a glass she hadn't touched in 10 minutes. Her shoulders were tense, her lipstick slightly smudged from the way she kept pressing her lips together. She hadn't planned to cry tonight, but tonight had plans of its own. Her breath wavered not loudly, not enough for anyone to notice, except someone noticed. She felt it before she saw him, a quiet shift in the atmosphere, like gravity leaning toward her. She didn't look up. She didn't need to. The seat taken? The voice washed over her, deep, warm, threaded with something steady. Mara finally lifted her eyes, and her breath caught. The man standing beside her wasn't simply handsome. He was the kind of striking that made the room blur around him. Broad shoulders under a dark suit, jawline sharp enough to look carved, a subtle 5 o'clock shadow framing his mouth. His eyes were the part that held her dark, observant, unsettlingly calm. Eyes that didn't skim, eyes that saw. She blinked. No, it's free." He slid into the seat beside hers with a quiet confidence, resting his forearm on the polished counter. Up close, he was even more devastating, dangerous, but not in a loud way. Dangerous in the way a locked door hid something warm, not cold. "You look like someone carrying more than that glass," he said gently. Mara stiffened. "I'm not. You don't have to pretend." His voice dropped lower, softer. "Not with me." She swallowed, looking down at her drink. "You don't know me." "No." He tilted slightly toward her. "Which is exactly why you can tell me anything." Her breath hitched unexpectedly. The bartender approached. "Mr. Blackthorne, your usual?" Mara looked up sharply. Blackthorne, as in Elias Blackthorne, the billionaire CEO, whose name was whispered in business circles like a myth. The man people described as brilliant, elusive, impossible to read. Elias nodded to the bartender, then glanced back at her. She felt heat rise to her cheeks. You don't have to stay here. I'm sure you have important people to see." His lips twitched the smallest ghost of a smile. "I'm exactly where I want to be." Her heartbeat stumbled. "Why?" "You look like someone one breath away from breaking," he murmured. "And I don't like watching someone break alone." Her throat tightened. "I'm fine." His gaze softened just enough to make her feel seen. "You keep saying that." "I am," she whispered. He leaned in, slightly not crowding her, just close enough that she felt the warmth of him. "Tell me your truth," Elias said. Low, warm, steady. "I can take it." The words rolled through her like a slow exhale she'd been holding for years. Mara looked away, blinking hard. "You don't even know what's wrong." "Then tell me," he said. "Start anywhere." A tear threatened to escape. She wiped it quickly. "My promotion fell through," she said quietly. "I worked for it for 2 years, and they gave it to someone else, someone who takes credit for work they didn't even do." Elias's jaw clenched barely, but enough to show he'd heard every layer of her hurt. "And my ex," she added bitterly, "decided to show up at my office today with flowers and apologies, like I'm just supposed to forget everything he put me through." Elias's eyes darkened, not in anger, but in something heavy, protective. "What did you do?" he asked softly. "I walked out," she whispered. "I didn't want anyone to see me fall apart." Elias shook his head slightly. "That isn't falling apart, that's surviving." Mara's voice wavered. I didn't want to be dramatic. Heartbreak isn't dramatic, he murmured. It's honest. Her breath broke again, and she pressed her fingers to her temple. I shouldn't be dumping this on a stranger. You're not, Elias said quietly. You're telling your truth. I asked for it. She looked at him, really looked. His eyes weren't cold, despite the power he carried. They were warm, dark, steady, a safe kind of dangerous. Why do you care? She whispered. Because you walked into this bar looking like someone trying to be invisible, Elias said. And I don't like when people who deserve to be seen hide. Her pulse fluttered painfully. He lifted his drink, swirling the amber liquid. Besides, he added softly, I know what it's like to carry things alone. Something in his voice made her chest ache. So, he said, turning slightly toward her, lowering his tone to something intimate enough that the world felt smaller, quieter. If you want to tell me more, I'm here and I can take it. Mara exhaled slowly, the tension in her shoulders loosening for the first time all night. She didn't know why she trusted him. She didn't know why his voice made the air feel warmer. She didn't know why his presence felt like an invitation she'd been waiting her whole life to receive. But she did know one thing. She wasn't invisible tonight. Not to him. Mara didn't expect him to stay. Men like Elias Blackthorne didn't sit in dim hotel bars listening to women unravel. But he didn't shift away, didn't check his watch, didn't let his attention wander for even a moment. He looked at her like her words mattered, like her pain wasn't inconvenient or dramatic, but human, real, valid. Tell me what hurt the most, Elias said softly. Mara traced the rim of her glass with her fingertip, her breath trembling. That he didn't choose me, not once, not when we were together, not when we broke up, not even today. Elias absorbed every syllable with a quiet intensity. Then you don't owe your heart to someone who never learned how to hold it. Her chest tightened. Why does that sound like experience? Elias didn't answer immediately. His jaw moved once, like he was deciding how much of his own truth to give her. Because it is, he finally said. Power doesn't protect you from betrayal, it just makes it more private. Their eyes locked, and for one suspended second, she felt the weight of everything he didn't say. Everything he kept hidden behind tailored suits and boardrooms and headlines. Mara's voice softened. What happened to you? Elias gave a faint, almost broken smile. Tonight isn't about me. But you said you can take my truth, she whispered. Can I take yours? He exhaled slowly, and somehow that breath said more than words could. She chose someone else, he said quietly. Someone safer, someone who wanted the version of me that didn't exist. Mara's heart ached. Then she didn't deserve the real you. Something in him stilled like those words hit somewhere he hadn't let anyone touch in a long time. No, he murmured. She didn't. Silence settled warm, not heavy. Elias leaned forward, forearms resting on his thighs, eyes lowering toward her lips before meeting her gaze again. Mara. Her name sounded different when he said it, deeper, more intimate, like he was memorizing it. You walked in here torn apart, he said softly, and now you're glowing. She flushed. I'm not glowing. A slow smile touched his mouth. You are. She looked down, but Elias reached out gently, brushing a knuckle beneath her chin, lifting her gaze back to his. Don't hide from me, he whispered. Her breath caught. His touch wasn't bold, it was careful, almost reverent, like she was something fragile he refused to damage. "Why are you being so kind to me?" she asked, voice trembling. Elias leaned in, close enough that his breath warmed her cheek. "Because kindness isn't something you earn. It's something you deserve." Her chest fluttered. "I don't know what happens next." His eyes softened, slow-burn heat shimmering beneath. "What happens next," he murmured, "is whatever you want. If you want me to leave, I will. If you want me to stay—" He paused, letting the moment stretch. "Then I'm here, all night." Mara's breath shook. "And if I don't want to be alone?" Elias's hand hovered near her cheek, again not touching this time, waiting. "Then you won't be," he whispered. Their faces were inches apart now, closer than strangers were meant to be, closer than friends would dare to be, close enough to feel each breath, each hesitation, each unspoken need. Mara's voice came out barely audible. "I want you to stay." Elias's jaw worked softly, like he had to restrain the relief that surged through him. His voice dropped to something dangerously gentle. "Then I'm yours for the night." He didn't kiss her. He didn't rush her. He simply sat beside her, steady, warm, unflinching, the way no one ever had. And in the quiet glow of that hotel bar, Mara realized something she'd never expected. Sometimes the truth doesn't break you. Sometimes it brings someone closer.